Hello and welcome to On a Mission. I'm Angela Spears. Our goal is to highlight organizations that are making an impact in Jacksonville. And one organization, this nonprofit doing dynamic work in the community, is Feeding Northeast Florida. Joining me today is Susan King, the CEO of the organization. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Angela. Thank you so much for having me.
It is always a pleasure to see you. Whenever we see each other, you're always like, Angela. We always come and hug each other. So it's wonderful seeing you.
Oh, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Feeding Northeast Florida and what you guys do.
Feeding Northeast Florida is the regional food bank, our affiliate of Feeding America. We cover 12 counties in Northeast and North Central Florida, about 8,300 square miles. We go all the way to Levy County on the Gulf Coast. So we are consistently impacted by hurricanes, no matter where they hit, it seems. And then all the way down to Flagler, up to Nassau, over to Baker. So a big area.
So you're giving food to different organizations,
Yes.
right?
We are at our heart and soul a big logistics distribution warehousing operation, and we have about 495 agencies and programs that get food from us. Those can be things as big as Sulzbacher and City Rescue, Trinity, or things as small as school pantries and small church pantries that serve.
Susan, how do you do that? How do you do it all? Because that's a lot of people. That's a lot of organizations to ensure have food because there's so many people in need.
It is. And these organizations are the boots on the ground that know the neighbors that they are serving. We are, as I said, the logistics arm of this. We do a lot of direct to neighbor distributions ourselves, mobile pantries and things. But the heart of the work happens in those individual organizations. We move about 30 million pounds of food a year, and that is spread between donated food that comes through retail stores that give us the things that might otherwise have been thrown away. In fact, the Feeding America model and food banks in general were sort of predicated on this idea that food was being wasted that still had substantial life on it. And so that's how the model was built. I wish we were still using donated food almost exclusively, but we find ourselves in a position where we buy a lot more food as inventory methods improve, as demand increases. So combination of those things.
And it's very interesting because you said you do the large organizations, but then you also do school pantries. So you have to know specifically because the needs for a large organization are very different than the need for a school pantry.
Absolutely. Places that have congregate feeding sites like a Sulzbacher are getting large, massive pieces of meat and huge amounts of vegetables and things from us. So it's all really tailored to the organization size and structure. And small organizations can come and shop at our facility.
Oh.
We have a creative shopping floor. They place online orders for what meets their needs. They have an appointed time that they come and pick it up. And then we make available a separate big cooler and freezer with frozen proteins and fresh produce and then other dry goods that they can additionally choose from.
This food insecurity issue is still a big issue, obviously. With what you're saying, the amount of food that you guys give away, that you donate, that you give to other organizations. Are you even cutting it in half in any way? Or I know you're doing your part, but it seems this is such a large issue.
It is a huge and increasing need. And I will tell you that there are now about 310,000 identified food insecure people in our service area. That is a 17% increase from last year. We currently have seen about a 25% steady increase over our COVID highs. We all imagine that those long lines that we saw, that was an immediate and emergency need. But what's transpired since then is inflationary pressures and just economic issues that have caused families to really need assistance. And these are working families that we serve. These are typically people who hit a speed bump. It's, maybe it's a car repair, maybe it's an illness, maybe it's a multitude of things, but that cause them to be just a bit short in a month. So that's
you're there. And you're there. What does it feel like to be honored? We're having our Legacy of Leaders Dinner benefit at the end of the month, end of July. What does this mean for you to be recognized, for your organization to be a part of this, to be able to get cash donations, to be able to get in-kind services?
Well, it's an extraordinary honor, especially with this. I believe this is the inaugural year for this event, and to be considered for our organization to be considered is truly an honor. As I said, we are part of a system of charity food that includes all of the agencies that we work with. We're just the food distribution arm for them. We provide the food, so it really highlights the work that happens collectively, not just the food bank or not just an individual agency, but that we collectively as a community and with our regional food bank are doing this work to feed our neighbors in need.
Susan, we so appreciate you. We appreciate all that you're doing, all that you continue to do to help our organization, to help our community, because that's so important. Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
And this is just one organization that's on a mission that continues to do dynamic work in our community.